coming Saturday, volunteers from around the world will take part in the world's biggest coastal cleanup. Now, the International Coastal and Cleanup Day aims to collect bottles and promote recycling. Joining us for this conversation and to talk to us more about the campaign is Tshidi Ramogase. She is from Coca-Cola Beverages Africa. She joins me in studio now. Tshidi, good morning to you and thank you for your time. I thought by now my table will be looking somewhat red and black with Coke bottles.
Thanks for having me and good morning.
Good morning.
I could get you some. I was just worried that you'd make me pay for advertising.
No. I'd have to declare first.
That's fine.
To my company before I get fired. So let's get into this conversation. Why Coca-Cola is getting involved in this cleanup campaign, and how many of your branches, because you are a multinational company, how many of your branches from around the continent are going to be involved in this?
Okay. So the International Coastal Cleanup, it's a campaign that has been running for over 30 years. Started in the US as a movement to really mobilize society to pick up after themselves, and especially around the beaches and the rivers.
Yeah.
If you think about it, water is such a basic, a need for humans, and therefore if we don't take care of it, it ends up in our food, and we need to make sure that we don't end up with waste in our rivers and our oceans. So from our side, we have been participating in the movement for over 18 years.
Yeah.
In fact, then the latest numbers I saw globally, around the 2020s, we will have about 1 million people participating globally. So it's a big movement that we are proud to be part of. The intent behind this is ensuring that society at large takes action. Yes, it is one day in the year, but what we're trying to get to is mobilize people. If 30 years later we still have problem with pollution, especially in our oceans, in the rivers, in our water sources, clearly we have a problem.
Yeah.
So the aim here is to keep reminding people, mobilizing people to, first of all, dispose of your litter responsibly. Because if we are all doing our part, we wouldn't have to have these cleanup days if we were responsible in our behavior. But secondly, to remember that where you see problem, be part of the solution.
Yeah.
So for us, it's to say government, society, consumers, take action, be responsible, recover your waste, and make sure that we can recycle it.
Well, in the age of climate change, I don't think anyone would have a problem with an international company like Coca-Cola taking part, in fact, encouraging this campaign. But the question is going to come that if you're so passionate about cleaning the planet and taking care of it, what about your packaging? Is that going to change anytime soon? Because plastic has been identified by environmentalists as being a huge problem. Fish consume this stuff, and we in turn, humans, consume the fish. It's a vicious cycle, isn't it?
It totally is. Thanks for the question. So now, we have a global strategy as part of the Coca-Cola company that we launched in 2018. And in this global strategy, we say we believe that the world without waste is possible, right? All of this, for us, is hanging on three critical pillars. The first one is design. You asked me, what's going to change about your packaging? In the design area, we're committing to ensuring that all our packaging is 100% recyclable by 2025. So, first of all, you have to design a package that allows recyclability.
Right.
Okay, so you would have seen, I hope you saw, in South Africa, in Ethiopia, in Mozambique, in various of our markets, we have removed green from Sprite. So it's Sprite Clear now. Because the clearer the bottle, the more easier it is for you to recycle. So that's on the design part. But we've also committed to using recyclable material in our products. So recycled content, we want to have 50% recycled material by 2030.
Yeah.
Today, we are already sitting at about 17% in markets like South Africa, and surrounding markets like Zambia and Namibia. We're already using recycled content in our plastic bottles. Of course, once we've got it out there to consumers, we have to recover it, right? Mm-hmm. It is plastic and packaging in general is critical to our food consumption, as human beings, but we cannot do that irresponsibly. So from a collection point of view, we have committed to collect an equivalent of every bottle and can that we send out to the market by 2030, right? So, and this is not just us. What's important for me is the fact that this is something that has to be done by everybody. So we look at partnerships. So there's a huge element on partnerships. And in the partnership space, we're working with like-minded companies to ensure that we can set up a collective movement of industries that are using packaging, of interest groups that are interested in protecting the environment, and we pay a fee, for ensuring that we can recover the waste. It's called your product responsible organizations.
Yeah.
In South Africa, we have the likes of Petco, you've got the likes of the glass recycling companies, the Medpacks of this world. So this is where you find industry partnering with government, with a favorable regulatory framework, which we have in South Africa, for example, we have in Kenya, is to ensure that we will pay, and we believe in post-consumer responsibility, we will pay to recover the waste and to recycle it. Because remember, if we turn it into an end use, it stops being waste.
Yeah.
It's waste and trash only when it ends up on the floor and in our rivers and in the oceans.
Well, that messaging has got to, I suppose, be driven aggressively, because imagine a consumer who goes out and buys a Coke product today. By making sure that they can put it somewhere, once they're done with the contents, they can put it somewhere where they can actually get money back. Your campaign is just going to fly, but that comes with time driving that messaging. In the meantime, what about coming up with packaging that is biodegradable? Do you think that is a possibility at all?
So one of the key strategies we believe in is using returnable material, right, as in returnable bottles. So you would know 1.25 liter, you buy Coke and come back and we use it again, right? Because with that you reduce the amount of raw material, value material that you have to use all the time. So the first thing is we have to increase, and it's part of our commitments to increase the reusable portfolio in our packaging. So we've introduced refillable PET, so plastic bottles that come back and we refill and we use them again. So that's number one. On the topic of biodegradable, it's an interesting topic, right? Because I don't know how many you've looked at and you put a sticker, you say it's biodegradable. Is it really biodegradable? And what do you mean by biodegradable? I think for me, the critical things are practical, simple solutions that first of all addresses our own behaviors as consumers, because we can't take away the responsibility from ourselves, right? Number one. But number two, industries make sure that you have a full responsibility to recover and make use of that material, create something out of that material. Now, if we were to recover, let's say we recover, 60% of materials across the board, not just plastics, and we get to reuse them again. This means a couple of things. One, we stop having to keep using raw materials and natural resources, so we minimize that. But then, of course, we mobilize and we create jobs in your recycling space.
Tshidi, I'm sorry to do this to you. We're completely out of time. But let me thank you very much for such an informative session. Tshidi Ramogase is from Coca-Cola Beverages Africa, and good luck for the campaign.
Thank you. Hope you'll come join us.